Hey, welcome back to Soul Whispers Tarot. I'm Karen. Today's reading is powerful love messages from your person. So, what would they say to you if they could? What does their higher self want you to know? If you would like to receive more detailed information about what's coming up in your future, tap the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. So, I hope you're doing really well. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. And in today's reading, we have 3 sets of cards. Set of cards number 1 is the key. Set of cards number 2 is the heavenly gateway. And set of cards number 3 is the rose. So take some time to tune into the energies of the cards. Sit back, relax, get cozy and comfortable. Take a few deep breaths if you need to. You can pause the video right now, but I'll also leave a few quiet moments here as well. Okay, so let's look into the messages that we have for you. Welcome to set of cards number 1. You've chosen the key. So what powerful love messages does this person have for you? What does their higher self want you to know? We're going to find out by looking into the tarot. We've got lots of message cards today. We're going to be pulling messages out of the bag as well and looking into the divination dice and the charms. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. So I hope you don't mind. I've got the fire crackling in the background again, but I couldn't really set up the camera so you could see the real fire, so you can hear it. But then I got this amazing lamp here as well to kind of give the effect to go along with the sound of the real fire. Okay, so these are your messages from this person. We have the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Cups in reverse, the 7 of Pentacles, in reverse, the 3 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. Okay, so this person is worrying very, very much because for many of you there's a separation going on right now, and it's because there was some kind of power struggle in the past. Maybe this person didn't want to be vulnerable, didn't want to be open. It could have been you, it could have been both of you, a power struggle. You were both, you both had different ideas about how to proceed with the connection or how to conduct yourselves in the connection. Definitely some kind of power struggle, and it's led to the 10 of Cups in reverse. So you both wanted the happy relationship. You both wanted that to be the conclusion. I'm picking up that some of you wanted to proceed things quicker than the other person felt capable of. I feel like this person suffers with a lot of anxiety with the 10 of Swords. So I'm picking up that perhaps you wanted to progress the relationship further. You were investing heavily in a connection, and you may have felt as though they were not investing or giving back equally in the connection. It was triggering a lot of insecurities on both sides, so it created a lot of instability. I feel as though you didn't know where you stood with this person, and you were just searching for some kind of reassurance or some kind of stability, and they weren't able to provide that at that time, and so it led to a lot of heartbreak with this 3 of Swords. And now this person's feeling heartbreak because I feel as though you've been questioning this relationship now. You're like, should I keep investing in this, or is all my time and effort wasted? Is this coming to nothing? Should I move in a different direction? Should I try and move on? You've experienced a lot of heartbreak. You've experienced a lot of sleepless nights and worries, feelings of rejection really being triggered a lot within you. And now I feel as though the tables have turned, because it's almost like you faced that biggest fear. You already felt a lot of the rejection, and you felt as though enough was enough. You had to have that self-preservation. You had to step back from the situation because you were just getting too hurt. And now they're the ones that are having to face this fear of losing you. But they're very, very worried about it. They are feeling very, very heartbroken at this time. They want you to keep investing in them. They still want that relationship with you. And they want to overcome any of these power struggles or anything that was holding you both back or holding this person back. It could be confidence issues within them, or just fear of heartbreak. They could have excessive worries and sleepless nights about getting hurt, and so they're holding themselves back. They're not expressing themselves enough to you, and ironically that is leading, or that led to the breakdown of the connection, because you couldn't put your life on hold forever. You couldn't wait around for this person forever. So let's look into some of the direct messages. I have 3 different sets of message cards here. We have our eternal love, which we'll look into first, and then we're going to look into the I love you to the moon and back cards, and then we'll look into the messages from the divine masculine cards before moving on to messages from the bag and the charms and divination dice. Okay, so what messages does this person have for you at this time regarding what's been going on and what's currently going on within your connection? We have, I feel envious of everyone who is close to you. I want to be by your side too. So yeah, there's definitely a separation for many of you, and they may be looking at your social media. They may be seeing you've been hanging around with someone else, or maybe just looking at you with your family, or you may be dating someone else, and they're feeling very envious at this time. They wish, it feels ironic, 'cause they wish they were by your side, but they had so many chances to take that action, but they didn't take it in the past. And then we have, I don't deserve you. I regret many things from the past that I can't take back. So yeah, this person doesn't feel good enough for you. They feel like they've made a lot of mistakes and they have a lot of regrets. And deep down, they just want you to be happy. They may be questioning whether they're the right kind of person to make you happy. That may have been a significant issue for them. You are always my number one and always will be. So they feel that you are the one, their soulmate, maybe even their twin flame, whether they know that label or not. This could suggest that there was a third-party situation for some of you, with the 3 of Swords as well. Maybe they didn't step up in your connection, and then they just easily got with someone else just like that, or they stayed in a relationship with someone else, and it was very heartbreaking for you. But Spirit is really saying they either got with someone else or they stayed with someone else because that was less challenging to them. It was less intense. It was less intimidating to be with that other person. But it's also because they weren't loving themselves, and so they didn't feel like they were worthy enough to have the best kind of relationship, the best kind of love, the best life. They were kind of settling for the comfort zone, basically. I'm always talking about you to my friends. So yeah, you may realize this. You may see their friends, and their friends are kind of like looking at you in the street, and they know who you are, even though you may not know them, kind of thing. And it's because this person can't get you off of their mind. They can't stop talking about you. And it's really ironic because in some cases this was all going on under the surface, and maybe they were like in some cases communicating to you from afar, but when it came to a natural commitment, they felt like they weren't at the right place or time to invest in that commitment 100%. And so it seems really sad that they feel all this love, they see you as the one, and yet they felt like it wasn't the right time, and maybe it wasn't, you know, there may be divine timing here. Maybe healing on both sides needs to occur. But yeah, there's just this sense of sadness I feel within you, because you know this person loves you, and you love them, and you're like, well, why can't it just work out? We both love each other. We both have this intense connection. For some of you, it may have been going on for a long time, but you're like, well, why isn't it materializing? And it can feel like really unfair. I'm afraid you're making fun of me to your friends. So yeah, I feel like they're talking to their friends about you. You're talking to your friends about this person. And, you know, you may have been talking with your friends saying, I don't know why he or she isn't coming forward. I don't know why they're acting the way they are. I know that they love me, but then they're not taking action, and all things like that. And this person they can sense that you're talking about them to your friends as well, because your friends are like, when they bump into them in the street or something, they're like looking at this person, and you know, it's like everyone knows that everyone knows what's going on between you and this person. But they're afraid that you've become like angry or bitter at times, and you know, they're afraid basically that your friends are saying that you should move on from this person, and that your friends don't see them in a good light. I didn't realize what I had until it was too late. So yeah, there's an element that this person took you and the connection for granted, and now you may have moved on or distanced yourself, and they are having a lot of those regrets. They may not have trusted you or the connection for some reason in the past, or it may have seemed too good to be true, or they just weren't awake enough to really see the significance of this relationship or the potential of it. And so they were kind of just playing around with the connection, or they felt like, or acted like they had all the time in the world kind of thing, and were just kind of sticking to their comfort zone and not like taking the action that they needed to take. And we have, I can't sleep at night because I'm worried about our connection. That is what that Nine of Swords is all about. How do we make it work? So yeah, this person has a lot of anxiety. They're trying to figure out how to get close to you, how to make it work, how to come into alignment. For some of you, this may be a connection where at times you've both tried to make things work, you've both tried to get close, but it feels as though the universe has stepped in and created obstacles and kind of pushed you apart. This may have happened several times for some of you, and to me that would suggest that there is divine timing involved. Relationships are all about the energetic dynamic. You know, we need to be in a place of self-love and have a healthy relationship within ourselves in order to have the best chance of having a healthy relationship with someone else. So it may be a case that you have a soul contract, or it's part of your destiny to heal things within yourselves as individuals before you can align in a harmonious way. And I feel like you may have both tried to get together before that healing, or before certain things were destined to happen. And so that's why you weren't fully in alignment with each other. So it could suggest that you are twin flames. I was wearing a mask to keep you in my life. I didn't realize it was keeping us apart. So yeah, this person didn't feel good enough being their true self. So this is kind of like the story of Aladdin when he gets the genie to turn him into the appearance of being a prince so that he can impress Princess Jasmine and appear to be of the same social status, because he feels like he's got to be like a prince in order for her to be interested in him, whereas she loves him for who he is. You know, she's trying to escape that life of confinement being the princess, so she just wants the normal life. So she would appreciate him for his true self, but he doesn't he doesn't love himself for who he is. He has like a poor self-image, and so he was trying to impress her, but ultimately he was living a lie. And you know, that hurts Jasmine when she finds out that he was lying, and it means they couldn't truly get close when he was living a lie, because, you know, he just wasn't being the real him. And I feel like that is the kind of the case in this connection. Like this person got carried away, kind of trying to create some kind of perception, some kind of image for you to see them in, like a version of themselves they would rather be. But ultimately you could see past that, and you just wanted to, and you needed them to be their real self so that true intimacy, true closeness could occur. But there's a sense that this person just wasn't getting that, and there was some kind of cycle where this was going on over and over and over again, wearing these masks. And, you know, you couldn't wait around forever. It's not all in your imagination, it's real. So this connection is very real. This person's love for you is very real. At times I feel like you've been very confused, because this person has, in their own kind of way, through that, wearing that mask, or from behind closed doors, or from behind their walls, they've expressed their love to you in some kind of way, or they've shown their feelings, but then at the same time they've got a poker face going on sometimes, or they're just distant, they've ghosted you at times, they've denied their feelings. So you were left feeling like you're going crazy. Was it all in my head? But this is saying it's not all in your imagination, it's real. And we have, I was holding on too tight and it was too painful. I feel like you felt that as well, like you had a lot of attachment. There's a sense that there was a lot of potential here in this connection, and you felt like it was going to go somewhere. And I'm not saying that it isn't going to go somewhere, but you know, this person may have been giving you false promises, or, you know, I feel as though this person wanted to follow through with what they were promising, but they just couldn't, because they needed to work on their self-love. And so it's almost like they had all these plans to follow through with those promises, like one day, but it always seemed to be one day in the future, and, you know, it never seemed to be the right time. This person never seemed to quite be ready, kind of thing. And so again, you can like just wait around for this person forever and put your life on hold. So let's look into the I love you to the moon and back cards. What messages does this person have for you from these cards? We have, I love how you make me feel like $1 million. I don't want to get close, shatter your dreams and lose your adoration. So yeah, that's all about what that mask wearing was about. You make them feel amazing, but they've got this idea in their head that you're only interested in them because they've created some kind of persona that isn't really a reflection of their true self in many ways. And so they felt like if they got too close to you, it would shatter that perception that you have of them, and they were afraid that they would lose your love, lose your approval or attention if they were their true selves. And so yeah, they were afraid of you rejecting them basically, but it was all a reflection of them rejecting themselves. And then we have, be honest with yourself. Are you just in love with the fantasy? So yeah, again, this is saying that they've had these major fears that you've just projected fantasies onto them, or a fantasy relationship that they feel like they could never live up to. Or, you know, they've put on that mask and they've kind of dug a deep hole for themselves that they felt like they couldn't get out of, because they weren't being their true self, or they were trying to make out that they were more successful than what they are, or whatever it is. They felt like they had to sort of tell these white lies about in order to try and keep you attracted to them. You know, they're worried that you fell in love with that and the real them wouldn't be good enough. So they kept their distance to try and keep up that pretense to keep you attracted, but ironically that was just keeping you apart. And we have, I need to feel like a good provider in a relationship. With you, I feel out of my depth. So yeah, they've put you on a pedestal. They don't feel good enough. They don't feel like they could be a good provider, or that they couldn't provide you with what you would desire or what you would need in a relationship. And so they had all these insecurities that they would fail, basically. So I feel like this person's been wearing a mask, trying to bide their time, trying to get themselves ready behind the scenes, trying to feel more confident, trying to feel more successful, or whatever it is they feel that they need to be in order to be good enough for you. They've been like working hard on that behind the scenes, but they never feel quite ready, because, you know, they don't need to change themselves or external things. They need to change this story that they're telling themselves, that, you know, they're not good enough. That's the problem. They need to have that self-love, have that realization from within. And we have, it hurts. I love you so deeply, and yet things run much more smoothly with other people. So like I said, for some of you, they could have chosen to be with someone else. And it's because basically they didn't feel as intimidated by that other connection. They weren't as afraid of that connection ending because it wasn't as intense. And they love you so deeply that they feel like it would completely crush them if they got close to you and you rejected them. They've based their sense of self-worth on how you see them, you know, whether you're approving of them or whether you're rejecting them. And that's kind of like the whole problem here. They need to have that healthy self-esteem where they're not telling themselves that their worth is dependent on what you do or what you think. I really wish we could be together. So yeah, this is genuine. They genuinely want to be with you. They really wish that could happen, but this person's really got to get over their insecurities. Yeah, I can't get you out of my head. This person's obsessed with you. They think about you all the time. They're talking about you to their friends all the time. Looking on your social media, feeling envious when you're with other people. But, you know, they need to take that leap of faith. They need to take that action. If you are not in a vibration of self-love, I cannot get close to you. So this may be mirroring between both of you. Maybe you were basing your sense of self-worth on this person, whether they took the action or not. Maybe it's felt extremely personal. Maybe there's part of your soul contract where you need to realize that it's not personal, and then a shift will occur. You know, it's like the more you take this personally and feel hurt and feel like your sense of worth is dependent on this, the more you're not understanding that it's not about that, the more this connection may be going in this same kind of circle of being stuck. So these are the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. I'm reprioritizing. Okay, so I feel like they were taking their sweet time with this connection. They felt like you would wait around forever, or maybe you had some kind of situationship where you were in some kind of communication. You did feel close on some kind of level with each other, but you weren't in a proper commitment. And it may have just kind of got stuck in this rut of being in that kind of situationship. And it wasn't really fulfilling your needs. And that's where taking this connection for granted came in for this person. So now they're reprioritizing. They're letting go of the things that aren't serving them, aren't serving the connection, so they can be more active, taking an active role in making this connection work. I'm thinking about children. So that's interesting. Could be that in some cases they have children and they're in another relationship and they're afraid of leaving that relationship because of the children. Or it could be that they want to have children with you. For some of you, it could be that you're both, or they're coming to this age where they want to get married and have a family. This is true love. So yeah, they realize that the love that you have together is real. They may not have trusted that in the past. They may have tested the waters by being with other people. You know, they may have tried to subconsciously prove to themselves that they could love another person as much as they love you, because those other connections were a lot more easier than what I'm suspecting is most likely a twin flame connection here, which is, you know, a very difficult connection. So they tried to test the waters to see if they could love someone else as much, and they realized that they can't. And so that's like highlighting just how much that this is true love that you both have. Yeah, my heart is broken. So yeah, you may have both had a situationship going on, but it was kind of like an unhealthy dynamic. It may have been codependent. You may have been in each other's lives in a certain way. And maybe you're both kind of holding on to that for a long time, but ultimately holding on to that comfort zone was keeping you both apart, or keeping you both having your life on hold in certain ways, and it wasn't serving you both on a higher level. And so something had to change. There was most likely some kind of tower moment that forced you both out of that situationship, but it's so that you could keep living your life and learning like self-love, all things like that, so there could be positive progress within your soul's evolution, basically. You deserve the best. So yeah, they know your worth. It's ironic. They know your worth. They know that you deserve the best. They know that you're such a beautiful person, but they're just struggling to see that within themselves. But what they recognize within you is also what they are within themselves as well. We have, I love this path. So yeah, I feel like it's a spiritual path for many of you, and it's very unique. They feel much more connected to the divine. It brings them intense meaning into their life, and they love that. And without you, they feel like not only are they missing you, but they're missing this massive like spiritual connection that they feel with the divine. I mean, they still feel that, but it feels much more amazing and powerful with you in their life. And we have, I express myself differently to you. So yeah, this person has been trying to express their love for you, but it may have been in their own unique kind of way, which may have created some issues, like if you were expecting them to express their love in a different kind of way. So let's look at the messages from the bag. We have longing. So yeah, they're longing for you right now. That's why there's that Nine of Swords. Sleepless nights. They want you back. They're afraid of losing you. Yeah, but they had this fear of intimacy. This basically means a fear of getting close, because again, they didn't feel good enough in their true self. So they wore that mask, which was ironically creating a block between you both from truly getting close. Crying. So they've been crying about this separation, or crying about things that they regret from the past, crying about hurting you and then feeling hurt themselves. Yeah, they were hiding their feelings because they just feared being heartbroken. Because they put you on a pedestal, they felt like they were beneath you, and so they didn't want to make a fool out of themselves by expressing their feelings. And then you sort of, yeah, because there was that, they're afraid of you making fun of them to your friends. Like, they fear that you see yourself as out of their league, and they're afraid that your friends see you as better than them as well. So they have a lot of insecurity. Reach out. So they will reach out. They will get in touch. They want to have that reconciliation. Yeah, they felt unworthy. And we have, yeah, shaking, sweaty, stuttering. So this person may have felt intensely self-conscious around you. And it's because they feel so much for you. But it triggered a lot of their insecurities. And so ironically, it made them feel extremely nervous. And they would all sort of like back out of communication or back out of getting closer because of those intense fears in the moment. So it could be someone that's like really shy or has some kind of social anxiety around you. Let's look into the divination dice. We have the dwarf with the lamp and the pickaxe. So this is like they're digging deep within themselves. They're shining the light in their shadow side. It's like the hermit card. They're looking into themselves. They're being honest with themselves. They're realizing what to heal. And I feel like they're putting in the work to really, truly heal themselves. Because, yeah, look, underneath that we have the wolf and the moon. This is like the moon card. Facing their fears. Going down that, that path of doing the shadow work. Which is very much needed within this person. So we have the satchel or the backpack. To me, this is like they carry you around everywhere they go. Like wherever they are, you're always in their heart. You're always in their thoughts. The star. So healing is going to occur. They want a healing of the connection. And they're following that star. It's like they're following the divine guidance which they may have been resisting. Like I feel like spirit has been really trying to guide this person for a long time. But their fears, their own mind was getting in the way. They had that 9 of Swords, intense anxiety, and so they were sort of resisting or denying that guidance because it was calling them to take action and they didn't feel ready. So there's a crow. Whenever I see this, it reminds me of like films where they always put a crow in when it's dark and stormy and gloomy. So they felt a lot of that shadow side. The crow is also like the moon card. But they're facing their fears. Yeah. Whenever I see this one, it reminds me of the 6 of Swords, which is moving out of adversity into a brighter future, moving out of the stormy seas into the calmer seas. So let's look into the charms next. Okay, so we have you are safe with me. So I feel like you've been trying to show this person that it's safe to open their heart for a long time, and this safety pin reminds me of a nappy. And I don't mean this to sound condescending in any way, but this person was like very vulnerable, like a baby, like a child. Like they had a lot of inner child wounds, and yeah, very delicate, they could be a highly sensitive person, and so they may have learned to try and protect themselves with walls from a young age, and it takes them a long time to come out of their shell kind of thing. This is a positive sign. And we have the fan, which to me is the wheel of fortune. So this is really saying that things are going to be moving forward in a positive way. Any kind of karmic cycle that was going on round and round in circles on repeat between you both, you know, you're getting off of that wheel. There's a brand new breakthrough here for your connection. We have the Christmas pudding. So I feel like something significant is going to happen around Christmas time. You may be hearing from this person. You may be reconciling around this time. We have the Church. So this is saying that there's a deeper commitment to the divine, following the divine guidance, a deeply spiritual connection. There is divine timing here because we have the little clock here as well. And we have the locket, heart locket with I love you on. So lockets represent fond memories or your loved ones, people that are highly significant to you. Again, this person could have like photos of you that they look at and they hold dear to them. And again, this is like they carry around memories of you and your relationship, that wherever they go, they're thinking of you. You're always in their heart. So if you would like to know in-depth information about how this person truly feels about you at this time, please check out my Dear Beloved message readings. They're $11.11. They're not personal readings, but basically I've created a really powerful oracle deck where I've channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. And when you book a reading, I pick out one of the cards for you, and I basically email you the in-depth meaning of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length. And I've got really amazing feedback for those readings. A lot of clients have said that they've had a lot of deep insights from them. So those are the Dear Beloved message readings. Please check those out. The details are below this video in the description box. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. So now I'll move on to the next set of cards. Welcome to set of cards number 2. You've chosen the Heavenly Gateway. So what powerful love messages does this person have for you? What does their higher self want you to know at this time? We're going to find out by looking into the tarot. We have lots of intense message cards that we're going to be looking into as well. We're going to be pulling messages out of the bag as well and looking into the divination dice and the charms. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. Okay, so welcome back. I've got the fire on in the background. That's a crackling that you can hear. Unfortunately, I couldn't really film in a way where we can see the real fire in the background. So as a substitute, I thought I'd buy this really amazing lamp that gives this really warm and cozy effect to the reading. I really love it. So I hope you love it too. I hope you love my berry lights as well. I'm feeling very festive at this time. So let's get straight into the reading. What messages does this person have for you at this time? So we have the Devil in reverse, the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Fool, the Six of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so this person's fears have been getting the better of them. I feel like they ran away from the connection. I feel like they may have created a lot of heartbreak within you, like they've really hurt you. They may have made you feel betrayed in some kind of way. And it's because they were struggling to take a leap of faith. Your connection intimidated them in some kind of way. So there may have been some kind of codependency within your connection. There may have been a situationship where maybe you had a communication or some kind of dynamic going on, but it wasn't like a full relationship. It wasn't a full commitment. Or for some of you, you may have been dating this person, but then there was a lot of problems and they weren't working through those problems, and it was like a deal breaker for you, and it created a lot of drama, a lot of pain, a lot of triggering. There may have been a tower moment between you where everything kind of fell apart. And whatever's happened, this person is, with the Devil in reverse, it is more positive. It's saying they're realizing their inner demons. They're realizing their fears, their wounds, their blocks. It's like they couldn't see those things within themselves before the breakdown of your connection. But now that they are like seeing what you were saying, you may have been trying to highlight these things to this person for quite a long time, and they were either refusing to see it, refusing to look inwards, or they just didn't get what you were talking about. And it's like actions speak loudly. You were trying to say things, but they weren't listening to your words. But when you've walked away, now they're listening to the actions. That's really what's making them look inwards and look back on things and realize some things about themselves that they need to transform, not only for you and the relationship, but for themselves. I feel like you were genuinely trying to help this person, but we can't help someone if they don't want to help themselves. And they felt like as long as you were in some kind of situationship, then they could stay in their comfort zone but still have you, kind of thing. And I feel like you were waiting for them to change or transform or heal so you could get closer, have a deeper commitment. But they were like, subconsciously, they just didn't want to face this really scary place of going inwards and being honest with themselves and healing whatever wounds that they've been carrying around with them for a very long time. And so they kept things in a comfort zone. But it was keeping like the true intimacy, the true commitment, the true depth of the connection at bay. And so, this is why they were running away. But in reverse, again, it is more positive. It's saying that they realize now that they were trying to escape doing their healing work. And now they don't want to run away from you. They don't want to run away from their fears. Because basically they were running away from you because they were running away from themselves and facing those fears. But now they want to really come back and look into the problem. And that is why they're having these realizations. They are being honest with themselves. I feel like you broke free, or there was that tower moment that kind of crumbled the relationship and created a divide, a separation, but that broke these chains here which were keeping you both stuck in codependency or an unhealthy dynamic. The unhealthy dynamic has been broken. You took a leap of faith in a new direction. It's a 0, so you created a new beginning for yourself. And it's created a new beginning, a major shift within this connection. Like I said, they're having a lot of realizations, and now they want to take a leap of faith. They want a fresh start. They want to let go of the baggage from the past, because he only carries around this tiny little satchel over his shoulder. And there's the sun here. So this is like healing of the inner child. The sun is like shining all this light into the shadow side where things were hidden, like this person couldn't see themselves clearly, you couldn't see certain things clearly either, but then all this light has come in, shed light on the situation. They want to give back equally. They want a balance, a give and take. They feel like you may have turned your attention away from them and now you're focusing your attention on someone else or something else, and that may be what you experienced with them in the past. But now they want a balance of give and take. They want to be generous with you. There is a sense that perhaps you were this character, very generous, stable, because he's got the scales that are balanced here, and then this person felt impoverished. They were kind of dealing with this devil energy, this habits, addictions, fears, wounds, blocks, illusions, conditioning, all kind of things like that. And so they felt like they were these beggars. They felt like they weren't your equal. So maybe in the past they couldn't give back to you equally, but they want to now. They want to be generous with you, and they want to come in and express their love. The Knight of Cups, the most romantic of the knights, wearing his heart on his sleeve, opening up the visor, taking off the mask, being open and vulnerable with you. This person may have to deal with needing to protect themselves in their life. They may have toxic relationships, a toxic family, anyone that's toxic in their life, and so they have to wear a lot of armor. They've been very used to wearing that armor, and so in the beginning they had that armor even with you and with your connection, but they want to take off that mask. They want to reveal their heart and be more vulnerable with you. So we're going to look into some of the message oracle cards that I've created. We're going to look into our eternal love first, and then we'll be looking into I love you to the moon and back cards before looking into the messages from the divine masculine. Then we're going to be pulling messages from the bag and looking into the charms and the divination dice. So what messages does this person have for you regards to what's going on within your connection? I don't know why, but I always doubt your love for me. So yeah, to me this is saying that they don't feel good enough deep down, and so they don't trust that you love them. Maybe they feel as though they're not good enough, so they see you as projecting some kind of fantasy or ideal onto them because they can't see how you could truly love them for their real self. So that's a block that's been causing them to withhold their heart because they want to protect themselves. They fear getting hurt. They fear opening up, being their real self, and you rejecting them. We have I can't get you out of my head. It reminds me of Kylie Minogue. I'm just thinking of the lyrics. It's boy, you're all I think about, or something. So yeah, they're thinking about you all of the time. They may be obsessing about you. They may even be having sleepless nights because I feel like they want you back. They want to come in. They want to take that leap of faith. They want to be vulnerable and give you everything that they know that you wanted, but they didn't provide in the past. You've made me closer to spirit, and for that I am eternally grateful. So yeah, you've made them have a lot of realizations. I feel like when you were together or were in a situationship, maybe you were trying to get them to commit more, and because of these fears are going inwards, a lot of their time and energy was spent on trying to kind of keep you at a certain distance, whereas now that you've moved away from them, they have a lot more time and space to focus their energy on asking big questions like, what is this connection about? Why has this come into my life? What does this mean? And they're going inwards a lot more. They may be in their man cave or their woman cave, but it's a good thing. They're going inwards because they're connecting with the divine. They're finding answers. They're having a deeper awakening, basically. And they find it really amazing. They feel intimidated by this spiritual connection, feeling connected to the divine. I feel like they fear that they're being judged by the divine, but at the same time, it's really amazing to them. And I feel like this is like the initial stages of their awakening. So it's only going to get better and better for them. There's too much water under the bridge. I don't know how we could ever come back from that. So they feel as though a lot of stuff has happened that's created a lot of heartbreak or trust issues. I feel like they do have regrets about some of the actions that they took. It may have been on both sides, but they're fearful that there's been too much damage and there's no coming back from that. I mean, they're hoping that you can heal from that, but they're not sure, is what I'm feeling. You and I are like a ball of wool. You're one end of the string and I the other, but we're a tangled mess. So yeah, this person feels like there's a lot of complications in your connection. Again, they're hoping it can work out, but they're not sure how it can or if it can work out. And so I feel like at this time they're just kind of seeing what's going to happen. I feel like they want to give it a second go and try and start afresh here. Oops. We have I am a mess. I don't even know how to love myself or how to have a healthy relationship. So yeah, Spirit wants you to know that if you felt rejected by this person, it wasn't personal. This person does love you, but they've just struggled pretty much their whole life when it comes to loving themselves and having a healthy relationship with themselves. I feel like I said, with that Devil card, they have some toxic connections. They may have had a toxic upbringing. which has left them scarred in many ways and a lot of inner child wounds. So they need to heal that. And that is what was really blocking them and not being able to come forward and have a full-on commitment with you at the time. So it wasn't personal. Yeah, I became obsessed with you and it scared me. So yeah, they felt these intense feelings. They couldn't get you out of their head, and that is why they ran away. Because it was drawing them too much towards that soul calling, that awakening, and that requires going inwards and doing that shadow work, and it stirs up a lot of that pain, but that pain comes up so it can be purged, so it can be released and healed. But it is an intense, scary, awkward kind of process, and it takes a lot of effort. And yeah, that's what intimidated them initially. Yeah, I just feel so intimidated by our connection. So that's exactly what I was just saying. The intensity of it. In some cases, there may have been a third-party situation. They may have run away to be with someone else, or they may have stayed in a toxic kind of relationship with someone else, because they have karma to heal in that sense, because that the pain that they were experiencing with that other person may have been a mirror of the inner child wounds that their soul was trying to figure out through that connection. Definitely part of their path to heal those things, and maybe they needed someone else to trigger up those wounds, and they had a soul contract to work through that karma with that other person in order to become stronger, in order to become closer with their true self. Can we start all over again? So yeah, they want that fresh start. They hope that things can be healed, and that they're hoping that there's not been too much damage, like irreparable damage. We have a few more here. We have, what do you think of me right now? So yeah, they're wondering, do you still love them, or are you still really hurt? And they're wondering if you're going to be open and receptive to them or not. I've been hinting to you about my feelings because I'm afraid I'll be rejected. So yeah, you needed this person to make solid action, make solid commitment, let you know where you stood, give you a sense of security. But they had big fears of rejection and abandonment, and so they were kind of hinting their feelings, but it wasn't really enough for you. I miss what we had in the past. I often reminisce about those times. So yeah, they're thinking about you all the time. They may be looking back at photos, or they may be looking at your social media. They want that reconciliation because they're very, very much missing you and longing for you. You've got to keep living your life. I'd hate to think you missed out because you were waiting for me. So yeah, this person knows that you're kind of waiting. I feel like it was making them feel guilty, and in a way it was making them feel pressured, like they knew you were waiting for them to take certain actions, but they didn't feel ready at that time. And so they became stuck. And this is saying they just want you to keep living your life. They want you to be happy, and that shows to me that they genuinely love you because they are worried about like your happiness. There's too many obstacles right now. So yeah, they do want to start afresh. But yeah, there's a lot of complications at this time. Let's find out more information with the I love you to the moon and back cards. What messages do they have for you from these? We have, you tried too hard. You made it easy for me to sit back and hide away. I'm sorry. So yeah, this may have been that imbalance. There was the Six of Pentacles, an imbalance, a give and take. I feel like you were putting in a lot of the effort or carrying the weight of this relationship. You were the one kind of holding it together. And in a way it made it easy for this person to stay in their comfort zone because they were like, you were always going to be there for them. You were always putting in all this work. So I feel like they took you for granted, but the more kind of effort you put in, the less effort they put in. And now they realize how they took you for granted, and they have those regrets and they're sorry. Because the love was instant, I couldn't trust it. I wondered how much of me you actually loved. So yeah, there was an instant connection here. It may have been love at first sight, or just an intense attraction that was immediate. And so they were like, is this love or lust? They didn't trust it. You know, they were trying to be logical about it, and they felt like you were too emotional about it. And so they were like, is she just emotional? Because emotions can change very quickly. They were like, does she really love the real me, or has she projected some kind of fantasy or ideal onto me? And is it that she's holding on to? They were like wondering if you could see them for the real them, or whether you had those projections you placed on them, and they felt like they couldn't live up to those projections. So that created a fear. Deep down, you push me away because you don't want me to see your flaws. Okay, so there may be a mirroring here. Like there may be that some of you are wearing a mask, because deep down you may not be feeling good enough, or you may feel like this person's out of your league, or you may feel self-conscious or insecure in certain ways, and subconsciously looking for this person's validation. And so that kind of energy is like pushing this person away. Or maybe you're subconsciously, a part of you is attracted to them because they're emotionally unavailable, and therefore it kind of makes you feel safe, because you can't actually get close to be vulnerable. So that's interesting. That may be something to look into within yourself. And we have, it hurts. I love you so deeply, and yet things run much more smoothly with other people. Okay, so yeah, again, it could be a third-party situation. Other connections are not as intense as your connection, basically. So there's much more of a comfort zone, and things can happen much more easily with like little effort. And so it feels ironic to them. They wish things could work much more smoothly, and look, there's too many obstacles right now. So this could be that, yeah, they felt like there was too many obstacles, and so they stayed with someone else, or they got with someone else, and it seemed to happen like overnight kind of thing. And they're kind of thinking, why can't that just happen with you? And you may have got really hurt if they just seemed to get with someone overnight kind of thing, and yet it seemed so hard for you to try and get any kind of commitment from them with you. I need to feel like a good provider in a relationship. With you, I feel out of my depth. So basically, they feel like you're out of their league, you're too good for them. They don't feel like a good provider. They don't feel like they would be able to meet your needs. They may have got with someone else because they feel like that other person is more on their level. It may be ironic, because that may be a toxic relationship. I can't stop thinking about you. So yeah, you are on their mind big time right now. And we have, I'm so worried that I've lost you. So they're feeling intense fears that you're not going to come back into their life. So let's look at the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. We have, I want to do things right. So yeah, they have regrets that they took you for granted. They didn't fully commit to you. They didn't do their healing work, but now they want to do things right. They've had a lot of epiphanies. How do I move forward? So yeah, they are going inwards. They're trying to figure out how to move this connection forward, how to do things the right way in order for that to really happen. We have I'm stuck. So yeah, this is coming very difficult to them. Because I feel like this person, they're going through an awakening process, but that takes time. And so at times they may not be seeing clearly what their soul is like calling them to do. And so they may still be in another relationship or some kind of unhealthy situation, but they are slowly freeing themselves, because that devil card was in reverse, and that's like freeing yourself themselves. You turn me on in so many ways. So they feel sexually attracted to you. You turn on their light in terms of them having this awakening. I'm saying goodbye. So yeah, they're saying goodbye to the toxic situation they may be in, or the person that they're with, or saying goodbye to the blocks, the things that aren't serving them basically. And we have let's make it happen. So yeah, they want that relationship. They're going to take that leap of faith. We have the Fool card there as well. So next, let's pull some messages from the bag. We have stuck in illusion. So that is exactly what I was saying. I'm stuck. It's because they couldn't see things clearly. It's going to take them a while to figure things out and really have those epiphanies and awakenings and seeing things from a bigger perspective. Yeah, I want you back. So yeah, they want that reconciliation. Astral connection. So this person is connecting with you maybe in dreams, but you have this higher dimensional connection as well. This person is definitely either soul family or your twin flame, which is your soul incarnated in another body. You have this intense telepathic bond as well. They feel your feelings and vice versa. They may know what you're thinking. Yeah, impossible. There is an element that doubts things though, because we had that there's too many obstacles card. And impossible, you know, they may have some doubts about whether this relationship can be successful. Yeah, chasing drama. So yeah, they felt much more comfortable in that kind of devil energy, like the dramatic, toxic. And again, it's a reflection of how they see themselves. Like they don't see themselves as being worthy of more than that deep down. But they are freeing themselves. They're saying goodbye to that old energy. They are having this awakening. It's like slowly but surely though, is what I'm feeling. Yeah, karma to settle. Karmic relationships. Lessons in self-love. So let's look into the divination dice next. We have Medusa. When you look at her, if you look into her eyes, you turn into stone. So yeah, basically this is just saying to me that they've experienced a toxic female in their life. And it may have turned their heart to stone. It may have caused them to have a lot of trust issues. They may have had issues with their own mother. And so a lot of abandonment, a lot of rejection, a lot of pain. And they may have kind of shut down their heart, lost faith in love, been very cynical when it comes to relationships. So, you know, you may be dealing with those wounds in this connection. So there's a beer. You may have met through a social situation where alcohol's involved. I feel like they may come forward when they've been drinking, when they have this Dutch courage. I feel this is also when they get together with their friends, they're thinking, they're talking about you, because they can't get you off their minds, so they're constantly talking about you as well. They feel hypnotized by you. But this is also like a portal, a gateway to the divine. They feel much more connected to their spirituality since meeting you. We have the warm rice, that looks like to me. So this is like comfort food. They feel very comfortable with you. They feel very satiated. They feel nourished, and warm feelings when they think about you, and they hold you very dearly in their heart. They feel that you are their missing puzzle piece, the other half of them. They're trying to put the pieces together. They're trying to figure out the puzzle, to heal themselves so that they can have a healthy relationship with you. And let's look into the charms. Whoops. It's interesting. Some of these charms are the same ones that came out in the set of cards number 1. Okay, so oops. You are safe with me. So I feel like you've been trying to convince this person and show this person that they are safe to open their heart. But this safety pin reminds me of the old-fashioned nappies. Like my parents used to put me in nappies with safety pins, the type that you would wash and use again. But I feel like this person, that's representing that this person had those childhood wounds, where they didn't feel safe to open their heart, and you've been trying to help them heal. I feel like you've wanted to love them like they've never been loved before, and it's hard for them to allow you in because they want to trust you, and they kind of do feel safe in theory with you, but then there's that inner child wound that's like really holding them back and making them second guess things. They're like the hedgehog that rolls up into a ball whenever things get scary. This person may be very shy because of the rosy cheeks, almost like they're embarrassed. Hedgehogs come out at night, so this is sort of like, and they kind of scuttle away. It's kind of like someone who, this person doesn't want to be seen. They don't want to be vulnerable. They have a lot of spikes. They have a lot of defenses up. This is a positive sign. So this is a good sign from spirit about your connection. I feel like it's moving forward in a good way, because we have the star here, which is about healing, this person following their guidance. There's divine timing involved here with the clock. This person, they do want a commitment. They feel very romantic feelings for you with this heart ring. You're very precious to them. They love you very much. They feel very romantic feelings for you. This cross with the rose on always reminds me of the Rumi Oracle card, which is called the Celestial Rose of Ma. And this is all about, in order to get to the rose, in order to get to love, the heart, you have to go through the thorns. You have to go through the shadow side, the pain, everything that comes up when we get into a relationship and we want deeper intimacy. We have to overcome our fears, let our walls down. So if you would really like deep information about how this person is truly feeling about you at this time, please check out my Dear Beloved readings. Those are $11.11. Those are on my website. They're not personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck where I channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. And when you book a reading, I pick a card for you and I basically email you the very in-depth description of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length in general. And I have a lot of amazing feedback for those readings. A lot of clients have said they've had deep, profound insights from them. So please check those out. They're the Dear Beloved messages. All the information for those are below this video in the description box. Please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. It helps me to grow my channel. And tap the bell icon. That will notify you every time I release a new reading, which is about every other day. So thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. And now I'll move on to the final set of cards. Welcome to set of cards number 3. You've chosen the Rose. So what powerful love messages does this person have for you? We're going to find out by looking into the tarot, the oracle cards. We've got lots of message cards today. We're going to be pulling messages out of the bag on top of that and looking into the charms and the divination dice as well. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. Hi, welcome back. I've got the fire going again, so you can hear the crackling in the background. Unfortunately, I couldn't really record in a way where you could see the real fire, and so I thought I would compensate with buying this amazing lantern here. I really love it. I really hope you enjoy the berries as well. I'm feeling very festive. I hope you are too. So what messages does your person have for you at this time? What does their higher self want you to know? We have the King of Swords, the Three of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, the Hanged Man in reverse, and the Wheel of Fortune. So this person, they want to be their true selves with you. They want to fight for your connection. They want victory. This person, they do value the truth, and they do want to be truthful with you. This person could either struggle, however, with either kind of projecting their wounds through harsh words or being argumentative, or they could retreat sometimes. They could come across as cold-hearted and distant, but at the same time they do value truth and they want to express that truth to you. They want to fight and take action, fight for the connection. But yeah, I do feel that at times they're either very distant and they withhold their feelings and their expression. They don't express themselves enough, or it's like overly expressing themselves. I feel it's something to do with their throat chakra being imbalanced in some kind of way. Like they may, in some cases, they may have felt like when they were younger they could never stick up for themselves, and now it's like the other way around. They're very argumentative, or they've lost their voice in some kind of way. They feel like it's very repressed. I feel like that led to heartbreak. Like maybe they lied to you, something about communication or a lack of communication or misunderstandings led to some kind of heartbreak. It could be someone who keeps themselves to themselves, but they're still a very honest, genuine person deep down is what I'm feeling. Like they're a good person, like their heart is in the right place, but there's some kind of fear perhaps, and they chose that fear over faith or fear over love, and that caused them to kind of lie to you by default, perhaps, like lying to you because they just weren't coming forward and expressing the truth. Like they may not have flat out lied to your face and said the wrong thing, but just by omitting the truth, by not expressing something to you or telling you something, that was kind of lying. They led you to believe something by not informing you of the truth. But now that, you know, they want to just fess up, or they just want to be like their true self. They're like, okay, the truth's come out. They feel embarrassed about it. They feel regretful about it. So now they want to be their true self. They want to give you an explanation. They may have had time and space to realize their actions have effects on other people, and realizing how much their actions or lack of action hurt you. So now they want to like stand up and be the better person. They want to do things right with the Knight of Pentacles. They want to help to heal your heart, because it's in the reverse position, so it's more positive. They want to come forward, and they want to express that it wasn't personal. They want to express that they love you, so that those swords can fall out of the heart, you know, the wounds, because they know that you've been taking something very personally, and it isn't, but they know they have some sort of information that they could tell you that would make you understand that, but they weren't coming forward like and really expressing themselves like clearly. But now they want to, so in order to help you realize it isn't personal, or help you heal your heart in some kind of way. Knight of Pentacles. This person's very slow moving though, and the Hangman in reverse. It is more positive in the reverse position, because it means slowly coming out of stagnation. But yeah, there was very much a pause in this connection. I feel like that contributed a lot to the heartbreak. But this person is just very slow, very methodical. It's like once they get stuck into working on something, they can go very much into their man cave or their woman cave. They're like a one-track mind kind of thing, very focused. And they may have been very focused on the overall goal was to heal themselves, for example, or create something for themselves so that it could be feel good enough for you in the long run. But they weren't, in the meantime, they weren't communicating to you. They may have been just not letting you get close enough to know enough about them and know enough about their life. And so there may have been certain things you found out which kind of shocked you, like you didn't see that coming at all. For example, and this is just an example, they could have been with someone else for all this time, or a long time, or they may have got with someone else and they just happened to not tell you that. But they had this overall goal that they were working on your connection. This could be a twin flame connection. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Careful of that label though, because it can kind of make people sometimes get attached to the person if they believe that it's their twin flame, and you know, it might not be. That person might not be for your highest good, so just be careful with that. But it could be a twin flame, for example, where there's this overall goal where they feel like you are one, you're meant to be one, you're meant to come together when the timing is right. In the meantime, they may have had another relationship, but they were like, shit, I don't want to tell you that, because then you might walk away for good, and it may scupper like the overall goal of us ending up together when the time is right. So they may have omitted that truth, those details or something, and you may have found that out. Again, that's just an example, but I'm getting that there was some kind of, but definitely something that they weren't telling you, because they knew that you wouldn't like it. But they still had this overall goal, and behind the scenes they've always been working on themselves and planting the right seeds so that your connection could grow organically when the time is right. But yeah, there's a sense of pause, the Hanged Man, that divine timing, it not being the right time, but slowly things are progressing forward. Wheel of Fortune, again, this is like positive movement. This is this person becoming strong. The Sphinx, the lion with the sword, again, that sword, like speaking truth, that is at the top of the wheel. At the bottom is the devil, so that's the fears, the wounds, illusions, conditioning, anything like that may have been blocking the connection. That's now at the bottom of the wheel. The strength, the truth has the upper hand. This person is more confident, and yeah, they want to come forward and express themselves, but again, there's still like this slow movement. So let's look into the message oracle cards. Firstly, we're going to look into our eternal love cards, which I created, and then my I love you to the moon and back message cards, and then the messages from the divine masculine cards, and then we'll pull messages from the bag, look into the divination dice, and then the charms. So what messages does this person have for you at this time regarding what's been going on? You see deeply into me and it scares the hell out of me. So yeah, you see beyond their masks, you see beyond their walls, you see the real them, and it makes them feel incredibly uncomfortable, because there's certain aspects of themselves that they're not happy about, or they want to hide even from themselves, they want to deny. And so just feelings of intense vulnerability is basically what they've been running away from. That may be why they've been keeping you at a distance, but at the same time they love you. And I'm feeling drawn to this one. What do you think of me right now? Yeah, so they may have tried to create some kind of perception. That may be what you discovered was a lie. They were like trying to create some sort of ideal persona, which they thought was ideal. They thought that you would love, that you would appreciate them in this certain way, but it may not have been their real self in certain ways. And it's all because they were thinking, what do you think of them? Like they're obsessively worrying about what you think of them. They're trying to impress you, but the truth would impress you. You know, the strength for them to be their true self. There's too much water under the bridge. I don't know how we could ever come back from that. So they're worried that too much drama, too much pain, too much damage has been done for there to be a repair of this relationship. They may have some regrets about their actions or what they did. Can we start all over again? This is meant to say. So yeah, they want that fresh start. They want that reconciliation, but they're worried. What do you think of them right now? Like, they're worried that you're not going to be open to starting again. They're worried you're not going to give them a second chance. There's too many obstacles right now. So, yeah, they're worried that the obstacles are insurmountable. That may be why, in some cases, it could be that they got into a third-party situation. You know, they may have worried that things were moving quite slowly because there was the Hanged Man. But they may have had this overall feeling that you're meant to be together, but it just wasn't happening. There's just too many obstacles. And so they may have become disheartened, or they may have got worried that they were going to be waiting forever, put their life on hold and miss out. And so their mind may have come in and made them doubt certain things. Or, you know, they may have just genuinely wanted a relationship with someone because they felt like, you know, they deserved to have that relationship because that's what they wanted. You know, ideally they would have had it with you because you're who they like love very, very deeply, but they felt like there was too many obstacles. It just wasn't working out. So, you know, they may have formed a relationship with someone else. And, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, it's very painful for you, but they, you know, were worried that they would keep putting their life on hold. You and I are like a ball of wool. You're one end of the string and I the other, but we're a tangled mess. So yeah, again, this is saying they feel like you are one soul. So they may regard you as a soulmate or a twin flame, but they feel like you're like this tangled mess. There's so many obstacles, complications, and just wondering if it was ever going to work out. I grew up with bad role models. I have no clue how to love you like you deserve. So yeah, they've had a difficult childhood. They may have experienced their parents splitting up or arguing or having some kind of unhealthy relationship with each other, or they just didn't feel loved by their parents in certain ways. And so that's had a huge impact on them. and it's, you know, not giving them the best role models to be able to create that healthy relationship for themselves in their adult life. So there's definitely issues coming up because of that as well. We have, I can't sleep at night because I'm worried about our connection. How do we make it work? So I feel like this person's had a lot of sleepless nights for as long as they've known you, basically, because they do have these fears. I feel like there was this instant like connection or instant attachment, instant desire, because your connection is so intense. You've shared many past lives together, is what I'm feeling. And so a lot of anxiety triggered up, a fear of losing you before they even had you, kind of thing. And that may have got in the way a lot, caused them to doubt a lot of things, stall, not take action because their fears. I feel envious of everyone who is close to you. I want to be by your side too. So they may be seeing you with family and friends, or maybe you're in another relationship and they're feeling very envious. They do want to be with you, but it's like ironic because they needed to take that action. But again, I feel like it's divine timing. It wasn't the right time. There's more lessons in self-love. Yeah, past life karma is causing a deep rejection fear I'm not even consciously aware of. So yeah, this person, you've shared past lives, and there's been a lot of karma where you rejected them, they rejected you, or maybe one of you died and the other felt abandoned, vice versa. So, and in all these intense fears from past lives have kind of bled through into this life on a subconscious level. And so that fear is very intense, and that's what's been blocking this connection in many ways. Okay, so let's look at the I love you to the moon and back cards next. What messages does this person have for you from these cards? That's too many cards. Whoops. Bear with me a moment while I pick that up. Okay, so we have, I love how you make me feel like $1 million. I don't want to get close, shatter your dreams, and lose your adoration. Okay, so this person's been wearing that mask. You make them feel incredible. They see that you've kind of put them on a pedestal at times. You see them as amazing. You see them as beautiful. If you feel this intense spiritual connection with them, it feels so profound. You see them as very, very profound, and that makes them feel completely amazing. But it's like they've kind of milked that energy. Like, if you see them in a certain way, but they don't see themselves in that way, then they've tried to sort of act out how you see them. They've tried to put on that act where they're like milking that or exaggerating that in certain ways, because they're wanting you, they feel like, oh, she likes me because of this and that, I'll be more of that. But it may have got a bit out of hand, and they kind of lost touch with being like their true self. And they feared that if they got too close to you, then you would realise that they were kind of exaggerating things, or they weren't quite how they were sort of pretending to be. And they feared that you would be angry or unhappy with the real them and like reject them. Yeah, I know our love will never die. So they feel this is a infinite connection, an infinite soul bond, a twin flame relationship, you know, whether they know that label or not. So yeah, they knew that your connection would never die. They know you're the one for them, but there may have been so many obstacles. You know, twin flame relationships, sometimes it's not even about getting together in the physical, or it can take years or even decades sometimes. And there is a sense that for some, they just didn't want to like take a risk and be like, we're going to end up at some point, so I'm not going to get with anyone else in the meantime, because you know it could take decades, and that maybe they're most likely meant to learn other lessons and experience the joy of being in a relationship. So in some cases they may have chosen to be with someone else, and you may have felt like that was extremely personal, but it wasn't. It was just, this person can't wait around forever kind of thing, and you can't either. So you were you were so nice and trying to make up for my flaws by doing all the work. You were enabling me to avoid my healing. So they appreciate that you were so nice and that you were putting in so much effort, but they see that you were putting in so much effort because they had many flaws and they didn't know how to heal themselves to be there for you in the way that you needed. And so the more work you're putting in a way, it was kind of enabling them to stay in their comfort zone and put in less work. And they're not blaming you for that, but I feel like that is a message where they want you to kind of realize that maybe everything is so heightened with you, the good, the bad, and the scary. It's so much pressure. So yeah, they feel this connection is out of this world, and because it is truly, it's a multi-dimensional. Many of you are light workers, so your home is not earth really. Your soul comes from somewhere else, and so that's like a much more higher vibrational planet, or you know, wherever your soul is from, it's like a higher vibration. And so it's kind of hard to ground that high vibration on the earth plane. It takes a lot of work. So everything is heightened for this person. It feels kind of scary, very intense, but extremely like amazing, like heaven on earth at the same time. I can't stop thinking about you. So yeah, they're thinking about you all the time. They may be obsessing. It's very, very intense. Even if they're in another relationship, they're thinking about you all the time. If you keep looking to me for validation, I can't align with you. So this is a message from their higher self saying that, are you holding on to this person to feel validated, to feel loved, to feel approved? Are you basing your sense of self-worth on whether they make things happen with you now or not, if they choose you or not? Because that may be a significant block. You know, if you're looking outside of yourself for that validation, then that's indicating a lack of awareness of you being good enough just the way you are, and that this isn't personal. This may literally just be a lesson. The universe and the connection is like waiting for you to have that realization, so there can be a shift, as within so without kind of thing. I lied to you because I was scared of losing you, but had karma to settle elsewhere. So yeah, to me this is saying that they may have had a relationship with someone else, and it was karma that they had to settle with that person, but they were so afraid that that would hurt you and you would take it personally and you'd leave them if you found out that they were with someone else, that they may have kept that from you, but then you did find out. So let's look into the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. Please listen. So yeah, they want to communicate to you. They want to give you an explanation. That's what that Three of Swords in reverse was about. They want to tell you something that's going to help ease your pain. And they wish they would have just sort of explained it to you in the first place before some kind of realization happened that created a Tower moment for you. We have, how do I move forward and I'm stuck? So yeah, I feel like they got stuck wearing those masks, trying to impress you. Like I said, they realised that you appreciated certain things about them, so they were trying to become more and more of that thing, and then they sort of lost touch with being like authentic. And so they're like, oh, I'm stuck, I can't move forward towards you, because then you'll find out that I may have been bending the truth a little bit about who I am, or what I'm like, or what I like, you know. Have you ever met someone where they pretend to like all the same things you do because they're trying to impress you, but then you find out they don't really like any of that stuff? So something like that. This or that. Wow. So yeah, they were like confused. They needed to make a decision at some point. They felt like they couldn't wait around forever for that divine timing for things to progress with you. They still had faith that in the long run it would work out between you both, but in the meantime they felt like they couldn't put their life on hold. They really wanted a relationship, and so some of them, you know, chose to be with someone else in the meantime. We have, let's make it happen. So they want that relationship. They're going to take a leap of faith. They're going to communicate with that King of Swords. You turn me on in so many ways. So they feel connected to you like no other. They feel connected to you, mind, body, soul, emotions. Yeah, I'm saying goodbye. So they're saying goodbye to any karmic situations is what I'm feeling, or anything that isn't serving you, or the connection. So let's look at some messages from the bag. I need you. So yeah, they feel lost without you. They feel like they've lost a part of their soul or their heart when they're not with you. Impossible. So yeah, felt like there was many obstacles. They worried that you wouldn't get together in the end, and they were worried that they would look back and realize that they wasted a lot of time waiting for you when they could have been in a relationship with someone else. They may have feared that it just wasn't going to work out between you both, and then they may have thought, well, maybe we're not meant to be, maybe I have a soulmate somewhere else, or sort of questioning things like that. I'm sorry. So yeah, they know they created heartbreak for you, and they are very sorry about that. So they may come forward with an apology. Stuck in illusion. So yeah, there was something they couldn't see clearly in the past. They made a decision. They may have felt like it was the wrong decision to make. They may have felt like they chose the wrong person, or this person is just stuck in the illusion of not believing that they're good enough. Yeah, they're going to reach out. They're going to communicate. They're going to have an apology because they're scared of losing you. And they do genuinely worry about how they've made you feel. And we have crying. So they've been crying over this connection, crying over the breakup. So let's look at the divination dice next. The cactus. So the cactus has a lot of spines. They survive in very harsh conditions where there's a lot of drought. So to me, this is saying this person grew up with a drought of love, like they didn't feel much love, and so they had to become strong. They had a lot of harsh conditions, but they tried to protect themselves, and they grew these spines. So if you get too close to this person, I feel like you've experienced them maybe being a prick. because I do have a charm, which is a cactus, and it says don't be a prick on it. But they basically, like, if you got too close to them, you've got hurt by those spines. They're protective, like, self-preservation mechanism. To me, this is a fairy, but I also see it as like the butterfly. It's like transformation. The butterfly struggles in a cocoon before it can strengthen itself to be able to spread its wings and have that transformation, have that healing. Yeah, the shield. Again, they've had a lot of guards up, walls up. But they want to move your connection in a positive way. This reminds me of the Six of Swords, moving out of adversity into a brighter future. Also looks like the Grim Reaper, which is the Death card, which again is transformation, endings of the old, beginning of the new. They've been totally hypnotized by you. They see you as amazing. They have this intense spiritual connection to you. They see you as like a goddess. They see you as so beautiful and sexually attractive as well. They've been spying on you from afar with a telescope, maybe looking at your social media. And opening the treasure box. So they see you as the treasure. They want to open the box. They want to really have this now, have the relationship. And let's look into the charms. If I can reach them. Try not to set my sleeve for light. Okay, so right, we have the Wonder Woman with her lasso of truth. There may have been a time where you tried to capture this person or chase this person and get the truth out of them, but it may have been like trying to get blood from a stone. But you were really trying to get the truth out of them. You were really trying to maybe get commitment, and this made this person feel very scared, made them retreat, it made them run away. We have fuck you, I do what I want. So they may have felt like you were trying to control things and make them open up before they felt ready, so they rebelled against you. We have shit happens. But this is the toilet roll, so it's like they want to clean up their mess. Wow, we had the I love you to the moon and back. And this is like, it reminds me of the moon card in the tarot. It's like you've gone through this separation because they needed this time to go into the moon energy, into the subconscious, doing the shadow work, healing the shadow side. But it's like, I love you to the moon and back. So now they're coming back after the shit happens, after the difficulties. There's been this key to transformation, the death skull key. So the ending of the old, the beginning of the new. There's headphones here, so this could be significant for some of you specifically in some kind of way, something to do with music, audiobooks, or something significant is going to happen in a positive way in around Christmas time, around the holidays, maybe hearing from this person around that time. And there's the rose, so they see you as really beautiful. This is about the heart chakra, the heart awakening, communicating their love, coming forward with flowers, like an apology kind of thing. So if you would really like in-depth information about how this person is truly feeling about you at this time, please check out my Dear Beloved readings. Those are $11.11. They're not personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck with channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. So when you book a reading, I basically pick out a card for you and I email you the very in-depth description of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length, and I've got really amazing feedback for those on my website. A lot of clients say they experience a lot of profound messages and insights into the connection and into the person through those messages. So they're the Dear Beloved messages. Please check those out. All the details are below this video in the description box, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you'll be notified every time I release a new reading. So thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye.